Law for Beginners is a legal education YouTube channel by myself, Noah Nishihara. So it is his first attempt to have a channel devoted solely to explaining the law, with the goal ultimately of achieving content that is hopefully funny and interesting or useful. And there's a question here: how can the law be funny? It's not the way it works. But interesting or useful, that also requires some effort to create content that is like that, interesting and useful. Notice the or, obviously. It's either interesting or it's useful. I mean, back in 2018, I was searching for Australian law videos. I found almost nothing. If there was, it was just some poorly recorded lectures or webinars. It was sort of strangely, some of them perhaps were for professionals, even now for clients, sometimes as advertising, and other times it's for students who already have a background. Of course, sometimes they start from the beginning so that even non-students can really just understand basics. But in terms of telling the general public, well, there it's more like clients, isn't it? But you want to get not just clients, you want general public to really understand. That means anyone. Now, and the law applies to everyone, so it has to be everyone that understands the law. Now, definitely it's too easy to remain in the legal studies sort of surface of the legal, talking about sort of easy content and not so useless content, in other words, which obviously such content is usually useless in law studies, and it will be useless probably for average people. And I just thought perhaps there aren't enough law students on YouTube. Maybe I didn't find them, but hopefully I may be able to contribute something. Maybe not. I do understand that there will be a significant quality difference between an inexperienced law student compared with the academic. And law students do create blogs, but perhaps not YouTube. And I do say up front that I don't have the skills to create a good YouTube channel, but I will still attempt it. I want it to be for beginners, not introductory, because introduction may not necessarily go deeply into the content, whereas for beginners starts from the beginning slowly and can get deeper than an introduction. Significantly, I hope that my understanding of the law will deepen by creating content for this channel, and that I will improve my study skills, research and communication skills. Maybe not. I hope to be, holistic in my approach, using philosophy, legal philosophy, jurisprudence, science, technology, science being particularly broad, but technology, literature, psychology, history, and hopefully viewers will understand more about their societies and about the global society, and not just international law, but the global society, the whole world. Now, somehow by understanding these abstract things, these big things, somehow you might improve your life. Perhaps you might be able to prevent legal problems. Perhaps you could avoid the pitfalls, and there are many in life, obviously. And to generally care better for yourself. This would be involving more than the law, but I understand that the care of the self is an aim in all university studies. The law is made by people, so by learning the law, you are learning about people and about how to care for yourself. Now, given the global audience that I hope to reach, I'll probably be using comparative law techniques to talk about legal systems in other countries. I won't be limiting myself to Australian law or the English language. In my other law-related channels, I might talk about real events, possible scenarios, like some guy talked about the risks of holding parties at your home, and legal news topics, which obviously I'm not qualified to talk about. I also have other YouTube channels as a mastering engineer. I designate the for beginners channel, this channel, to be for most topics, but I consider that the Noah Law Group channel will be a general channel focusing on newer forms of legal practice and the law. Newer forms of the law. So when the law evolves, when technology starts to change it, that is where I will use the Noah Law Group channel to talk about it. I might invite guests because it's about a group. Likewise, Noah Lawyers is a more practical channel. Also technology focused, also about changing the law, but less of an education channel. It's more practical in that sense. No lawyers is probably not going to be touched for now. So that's all I have. It's been said by others, but the layperson can access plenty of free legal materials since the 90s. Mostly, and also the government sites. But they are unlikely to find a sort of a perfect guide. Guide them step by step to allow them to be equal to or go beyond the understanding that a law student might have. To let them be able to apply the law in practice. And I suppose reading those things are pretty difficult anyway, so we want a deeper understanding, but also one that's from a perspective very close to practical concerns. Learning the law might involve avoiding mistakes. It's like a vaccine against mistakes. Now, sometimes, obviously, there will be harsh, cruel events, problems in life. So I consider that law is not sufficient in terms of understanding everything. There is also the need for such understandings as Chinese medicine or care of the self. Now, plenty of knowledge beyond the law. The law is somewhat distanced from practical aspects of everyday life. So that's why I have other channels, not just this law channel. But the law channel is really important because I am a law student, and to improve my grades is quite a concern.